And as we told you, one of the Republicans opposing this bill is North Carolina Senator Thom Tillis. He says those who support this legislation are making a mistake and betraying a promise to their constituents. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, speaking moments ago, disagrees.
He is just wrong, and the president and the vast majority of Republicans who are supportive of this legislation are right.
Shortly after announcing his opposition to this bill, the senator also announced he does not plan to run for re-election next year. NewsNation's Hannah Brandt is live for us there on Capitol Hill. So, Hannah, how is the president reacting to this announcement from Tillis?
Well, Nichole, there's a lot of anger from the president directed at Senator Tillis over his vote. We know Senator Tillis was one of just 2 Republicans to oppose this bill moving forward. And President Trump reacted with frustration on his Truth Social account with multiple posts targeting Senator Tillis, accusing him of grandstanding and saying he was making a big mistake in opposing this bill. Also threatening to primary the senator in the race he has upcoming in 2026. Now, he did announce he's no longer running for re-election, and I actually was able to catch up with Senator Tillis just minutes ago as he was heading back out to the Senate floor to vote. Take a listen to what he told me.
Was it because of President Trump's truths that you dropped out?
No, I'd already told the president that he needed to start looking for replacements before that came out.
What are you going to do to stop this bill?
I'm just working on the only thing I'm doing. I've done what I'm going to do. I've told my staff I've rested my case. The fiscal research is out there. I'll leave it to the members of the House to decide how to act on it.
But what's your message to North Carolinians if this is going to hurt so many of them?
Well, my message is clear. Just read the analysis. It's $26 billion over 10 years.
So he seems to be saying there's not much more he can do than what he's already done to try and oppose this bill. But as Thom said just before me, this fight is far from over. And Senator Tillis's announcement that he won't be running for re-election certainly makes this upcoming Senate race in North Carolina that much more interesting. This was already going to be an extremely competitive race in the battleground state of North Carolina, which President Trump did win the last 3 times, Nichole.
All right, so Hannah, who could we see looking to potentially replace Senator Tillis?
Well, there are a lot of names swirling around right now, as you can imagine, after this announcement. We did see former North Carolina Congressman Wiley Nichole put out a statement. He was already running on the Democratic side, and he says he can beat any MAGA candidate that they throw his way. Another name we've been hearing is Democratic former governor of North Carolina, Roy Cooper. He's someone that some people on the Democrat side do want to see make a run for it. Then over on the Republican side of the aisle, Lara Trump is a name that we've heard mentioned a couple of times. Of course, she's the daughter-in-law of President Trump and is the former co-chair of the RNC, so she could certainly have some powerful White House backing if she decides to eventually jump into this race. Another name we've heard a little bit about is Mark Robinson, and that's because Senator Tillis himself made a reference to Robinson, posting on his X, thanking the president for his well wishes on retirement, a bit sarcastically, of course, and saying, word to the wise, let's avoid mini soldier. That's a reference seemingly to Mark Robinson's alleged screen name that he used online when he posted some racist posts, apparently, that got him in trouble during his race to try and be the governor of North Carolina, which he did lose. President Trump did endorse him in that race, though, so seems to be a bit of a jab from Senator Tillis towards the president and towards Robinson, Nichole.
All right, Hannah Brandt, live for us there in Washington. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.